You're listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Gerald. Here's your host, Jack Myers and Gerald Hoover.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Gerald. We are Season 2, Episode 10. 17 episodes.
17 episodes. That's a lot.
That is pretty cool, isn't that, Jack? So I'm one of your hosts, Gerald Hoover. I'm joined here by the star of the show, Jack Myers, king of the one-liners and sports trivia, seventh grader here at Shalom. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great. Excited for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We got a lot to talk about here since our last podcast, only a week ago, but it feels like a lot has happened since we were on the air last Friday, and we're going to go ahead and get started here talking about basketball season here at Shalom and with our middle school girls. Head coach Alan Moore. Girls having a great season, Jack. 6-1, 3-0 in league play. Currently on a 3-game winning streak and in first place in their league currently. So it's pretty exciting stuff for our middle school girls. And so since last Friday, Jack, they've had 2 games. Tell us what's happened.
So the 8th, they played Maryland School of the Deaf. Maryland School of the Deaf hit 5 3-pointers, but they...
That's crazy, 5 3-pointers for middle
school girls. That's a lot.
They were on fire.
Yeah, usually girls don't shoot 3-pointers in the middle school level, but the Maryland School of the Deaf hit a lot of them. They won 33-21. Quinn Staley had 8 points, and Nora scored her first points of the season. So,
congratulations, Nora. And so 5 3-pointers, 15 points. So 15 of their 21 were from the behind the arc. So that's it. Then Shalom was able to withstand that storm and that 3-point barrage by the Maryland School for the Deaf. Orioles, I believe they are.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, they beat Grace Academy 35-7. Chloe Gearhart had 10 points, Claire Moore 8 points, and Quinn Staley had 7 points. Yeah,
so congratulations to Shalom picking up the league win there at home against Grace Academy on Tuesday. And so they don't play now till Monday next week.
But it's like NBA schedule. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
That's crazy. And 3 of the 4 on the road. So tell the audience, Jack, some more details about those games coming up.
So they play at Phantom Metal at 5 p.m. on Monday and at CVCS 3:30 the 16th Tuesday. Thursday they play at Faith Christian Academy at 3:30 and at Heritage Academy at 4 p.m. the Friday. So this week is a lot of home games, and then next week's all the away games.
Yeah, so we are home on Tuesday night against Cumberland Valley Christian School. Yeah, so one home game next week. But, 3 out of the 4 on the road for the Lady Flames, so they'll get some windshield time as they travel up to Phantom Meadow and then down to Martinsburg, West Virginia, and Hagerstown, Maryland at the end of the week. And then that Friday game, Heritage Academy, be the second time playing the Eagles this year with our Lady Flames winning 36-6 earlier in the year. And I was looking at the standings, and that's Heritage's only loss of the year in league play. So could be a tough game for our ladies down there on Friday. So now we're going to switch to the middle school boys team. This is the team Jack plays on, starting point guard. 9-game winning streak, Jack.
9-game winning streak. We lost to St. Teresa. They were amazing. So that was our only loss, and that was in a tip-off tournament, so it wasn't the regular season or anything. So
yeah, there's an argument between Mr. Roseman and I whether those games should count or not against your record. So what do you think?
I think they should.
You think they should?
Yeah.
All right. So you got that one loss.
Because then it'd be like 8-1, which doesn't seem as good as 11-1, because we won like 3 other games in that tournament.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you take the loss off the board and you'd be perfect then.
Well, yeah, we'd be perfect.
So
we'd be 8-0, not 8-1.
That's right. You'd be 8-0. So you guys 9-game winning streak. You had 2 games this week, Jack. Both at home. So what happened in those games?
Monday we beat Maryland School of the Deaf 40-17. Trey led all scores with 13, and then Grace Academy on Tuesday we won 38-23. We were tested earlier in that game, but Corbin had like 17 straight points.
Wow, 17
straight? I scored the first 2. Only me, Trey, Corbin, and Waylon had scored. They were the only 4 scorers, but Corbin hit 17 points straight, and then Waylon, Trey started scoring, and then Corbin hit 2 free throws at the end to get 19.
How about that?
So he was like going off. He hit like it was amazing. It was like he had like 16 points in the first half. So
that is crazy. I guess he was making up because he was sick the game before, right? So and maybe he was trying to play 2 games within one.
He played the Maryland School of Deaf game, but he didn't play the Mount Etna game.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So maybe I had that back. So he was sick though the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was thinking it was for that Monday game. So my bad. But congratulations, Corbin. Yeah, scoring a ton of points there and help carrying you guys to the win. And so you guys back in action next week. 3 games it looks like. So tell the audience what's happening next week for middle school boys.
Tuesday we play at home versus CVCS at 4:30, and we play at Faith Christian Academy at 4:30. Faith is 2-1 in MDCC.
Yeah, it could be a tough game down there.
Yeah, that's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And Friday, we play at Heritage Academy at 5. So Heritage Academy gave us a little bit of struggles to start the game, but then we finished it out with really good shooting. So
okay, yeah.
And then Faith Christian Academy, they were the 3rd place team last year. So
yeah, they could be pretty tough as well. And both those games on the road, it's a little more difficult playing on the road. The team you're playing, they're comfortable on their home court, and makes it a little more difficult for you guys.
They have some chance. Last year, Faith, we only beat them by 2, but they had like some chance. The fans were getting into it. And so
pretty exciting close game.
Pretty exciting close game.
Yeah, but I'm sure you guys you'll play strong down there at Faith Christian Academy in Martinsburg, West Virginia on Thursday. So that wraps up the middle school side, and just want to let you know you're listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast with Jack and Jurl, and we're talking about basketball here at Shalom, and just finished up the middle school wrap-up. Now we're going to head to the varsity side, starting with the varsity girls, as Doug Lehman leading his young ladies on the court, and they've been struggling here. Had a very tough schedule in December, but have gone over the 500 mark record-wise here in January. They now sit at 7-5, 2-1 in league play. And so they had 3 games since our last podcast. So, Jack, go over what happened in those 3 games.
Oh, Friday, January 5th, they played Calvary Christian. They won 63-13. 13 assists in this game. It was their first home game for the Lady Flames this year, and 10 of the 12 players scored. Tuesday.
So 63-37. I think you said 13, so 63-37.
Yeah, 63-37. Okay. Tuesday, January 9th, they beat Grace Academy 50-24. Joanna Ream with 3 3-pointers in the first quarter, but finished with 14 points. Addison Adams had 16 points. And then yesterday they lost to St. Marie Goretti, 59-48. They lost by 11 points compared to 22 points. They lost on December 8th, and Addison Adams led the way with 16 points, and Maya had 15 points. So doing a lot better than what they started.
That's right. Yeah, I think they're kind of hitting their peak right now, and Addison and Maya led combining for 31 points there, and I think Coach Lehman felt pretty good about that game. You know, seeing the progress his team has made since that last game against Goretti, so he's pretty excited about where his girls are heading, and he's looking forward to the second half of the season. As I think are we about halfway through the season or getting close?
Oh, we're getting close. I think for middle school it's the 17th, so we're definitely halfway through for middle school, but.
Varsity's getting pretty close. Usually, as you start playing those league teams the second time, it's kind of about the midway point through the season. So, and we're starting that next week. So, varsity girls coming up next. They're in action tonight against the New Life Lady Rams at 5:15 here on the home court. But they have 3 games next week, Jack. So, where are they playing at next week?
Next week they at Phantom Meadow at 6 p.m. and then home versus CVCS at 6:45. CVCS is 3-1 in MDCC play, and then at Faith Christian Academy at 6:45. This is the makeup from the 12-15 game.
Yeah. So Monday against Phantom Meadow, at Phantom Meadow. Tuesday here at home against CVCS, and next Thursday at Faith Christian Academy. So pretty hard schedule. Lots of games coming up for the Lady Flames here, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be ready for those games as well. And then that takes care of the varsity girls. So we're going to flip to JV boys now, as Matt Wenger has his boys at 5-2 overall on the season, and they only had 1 game since last week. Jack, what happened in that game? Oh,
they beat Grace Academy 56-16. Christian Henry led the Flames with 22 points. Really good for Christian. When he hits a 3, when he's on from 3, he's on from 3. Last year he had 25 points in a game last year in the semifinals, and he was draining every single 3.
Awesome.
He had a couple buzzer beaters, so
that's pretty exciting.
When he's on, he's on.
Yeah, that's great. And so congratulations, Christian, there. 22 points in that contest against Grace the other day. But even though they only had one game this past week, Jack, looks like they got 3 games next week. So tell the audience when they play next week.
They play home versus CVCS at 5:30, and then they play at Faith Christian Academy at 5:30 and at Heritage Academy at 6.
Yeah, so that's Tuesday the 16th, CVCS, and then Thursday and Friday. Thursday down at Faith Christian and Friday against Heritage or at Heritage Academy. And like you said, the Faith game was the makeup games from back in December. So that just leaves now our varsity boys, and Coach Shank has his boys playing well. I forgot to put the overall record on here, Jack, so we'll have to catch up with that next time. But they had 2 games since our last podcast, and so what happened in those games, Jack?
They beat Calvary Christian Academy 51-29, and they beat Grace Academy 72-59. They came back in that game. Grace was coming back. It was slow though, but it was it was going to be a close game further on if there was like 4 more quarters. But,
okay, yeah.
But they were coming back.
Yeah, so Grace Academy fighting hard in that game, but the Shalom varsity boys pulling out the league win and actually getting 2 league wins here in the last week, which is pretty exciting. And so they're back in action starting tonight, Jack. So give them we got 4 games coming up in the next week for them.
So they play tonight. They play New Life Rams at 6:45. I would recommend you be there because the Rams are 3-0 in MDCC play, and the Rams are a really good team. So
it should be
looking forward to this
tonight.
game.
Yep. You're going to be out to call that with me, Jack?
Yep, I am.
Awesome. Yeah, so we look forward to that tonight. If you can't make it, you can catch that game on the Shalom streaming network. On our YouTube channel, and you said, Jack, it starts at 6:45 tonight here at Shalom Christian Academy. So they got 3 more games coming up in the next week.
And then Tuesday they play home versus CVCS at 8 p.m. And then Thursday they play at Faith Christian Academy at 8. And then they play at Heritage Academy at 7:15. They lost 69-61 on the 5th of December. So that Heritage game's going to be a really close one, I think. So
yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Seeing if Shalom can bounce back from that loss.
So 2 tough Friday games here for the Flames. Well, tough games across the board, but with the Rams 3-0, and then Shalom trying to avenge their only loss in league play down at Heritage next Friday as well. So that should be an exciting game. Down there in Hagerstown next Friday night versus the Eagles of Heritage Academy. So that kind of wraps up our podcast here for today, Jack. We kind of summarized what's happened in basketball play since our last podcast and kind of gave you a preview of what's coming up here in the next week for the Shalom Flames teams. I do want to say if you ever have a question for Jack or I, or maybe there's a topic about Shalom sports you want us to discuss, just go ahead and shoot us an email at shalomstreaming@shalomca.com. I can check that, and if we like your question, or topic that you want to discuss, and we'll talk about it on future podcasts. What do you think of that, Jack? Does that sound pretty cool?
That will be really interesting if there's some questions next time. So.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
It'll be fun for us too.
That's right. It will be fun for us. So. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you have anything else you want to add, Jack?
No, I think we said it all.
All right. I think we did as well. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. We hope to be back here on the air again next Friday telling you about what's happened since this podcast in the basketball world here at Shalom Christian Academy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to the Shalom Sports Podcast. If you enjoyed today's content, please hit the subscribe button. That will notify you of future content.